Something wonderful is happening to me right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I accept things the way they are. I accept things the way they are not. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I love wasting. I love wasting. I can breathe. I reap abundantly. I already have everything I need. Wonderful is happening to me right now. Don't you feel it? Something wonderful is happening to me right now. Oh yeah, I accept things the way they are. I will. I accept things the way they are not. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Please gently close your eyes. And allow yourself to be comfortable in your seat. Allow yourself to be adjusted so you're comfortable. So your hands are placed in your lap and your feet are comfortably grounded on the floor. Allowing yourself to be in this sacred space. Breathing in and breathing out. Allowing yourself to take a nice deep breath. Breathing in and breathing out. One more deep breath. Breathing in and breathing out. And one last nice deep breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Allowing yourself to be centered in this space of love. Breathing in and breathing out. Allowing yourself to go within, to be quiet. And that place within you that is all love. Gently breathing in and breathing out. Allowing yourself to be more relaxed than you were a few seconds ago. Allowing yourself to be quiet. Allowing the mind chatter to be quiet. Breathing in and breathing out. Allowing yourself to be more and more comfortable in your seat. Allowing your body to be more relaxed. Breathing in and breathing out. Going deeper and deeper into that place within, where it is peaceful and where there is quiet. Bringing your awareness to your mind and notice whatever floats by. Just allow it to be. It's part of who you are. Whatever the thoughts may be, just gently let them flow by. They'll be there later for you, so not to worry. Allowing your mind to be more relaxed, more centered in this sacred place. Allowing yourself to be quiet and still. Going deeper and deeper within the quietness within your body. Within who you are. That sacred space within. Now letting go of what does not serve your best and highest good. Just let it be. Going within to the sacred quietness of within you. You are in this moment of peace and love. allowing yourself to be more and more relaxed into this quietness. And just for this moment, allow yourself to be in this moment, honoring who you are, a sacred being. Allowing yourself to feel the love within, the peace, the quietness, the joy. And as you go deeper into the quietness, recognize that you are now at that peacefulness, that love, and that calm. And now, allow yourself to come back to the sacred place within this room. Allowing yourself to wiggle your feet, your toes. Gently allow your mind to be back into this sanctuary. And for today, allow yourself to stay in this moment of peace, of love, of calm and joy. Namaste.
And so, from this place of peace and this place of stillness, allow my words to be your words as I speak from the first person. And so I'm so grateful today to know that there's this one infinite spirit that is all-powerful, that is present everywhere, in and through everything, that is all-knowing, that is love and light and joy and goodness and plenty. And I know today that this divine essence lives at the center of my being, that it fills me and it surrounds me. It guides and it directs me, that I am one with this allness, that I come to this allness with absolute willingness to be used by it, to be guided and directed by it, to have its life be my life right here and right now. And so I know today, this day that we call Father's Day, I know that each father, each dad is honored and blessed today. I speak this word of blessing for them. And I know that Dad comes in all forms and shapes, all colors. I know that each is filled with love and light and shares its gifts of love and wisdom and goodness with the children, with the family, with all who come in contact. And I acknowledge today that often dads don't look like we want them to look. But I know without a doubt that each is doing absolutely the very best that they can do. And for that, I bless and praise and acknowledge each one. I am grateful for the gifts of Dad. I am grateful for the love of the dads. And I am grateful to honor them today. And so, as I am grateful to be in this space today, I acknowledge and bless all that takes place in this service today. I know that God is in this place, that God is in and through each and every person here, and that it is all good. I know that the program today takes place in divine order and absolute perfection. I am grateful for the music and the musicians. I am grateful for the ministry of prayer and the light that they hold in this space. I am grateful for the ministers, these loving ministers that give so much to us, that provides spiritual leadership. I'm so grateful to be in this space. This is my spiritual home. And I love everyone in this place. I know that each is a light, and that each light shines brightly, and that this place glows in this light. And so, this is a blessed service today because this service takes place on holy ground. And so I'm grateful for all that takes place here. And from this place of gratitude, with absolute faith and love and knowing, I release this word to that divine presence, knowing that as I do so, it is done. It cannot come back to me void. And let us each say, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Yes, each of us are light, aren't we?
Yes.
No matter how we feel, no matter what our circumstances may be, whether today brings about a day of heaviness because of your relationship with your dad or not having a relationship with your dad, we're all made from attributes of the one. The one power, the one presence, the one essence, the one light, the one life, which is beauty, peace, joy, light, life, harmony, poise. Each of us are that, no matter what our circumstances are. Yes?
Yes.
So, we had a beautiful centering, thank you Selena, Practitioner Selena, beautiful prayer. And thank you Reverend Dan for saying what you did. And some of this is kind of going to be repetitive because we're all on the same page, I guess. But if I could have my dads, if you were a dad, would you stand up? given each of us and what you brought into the world. Now, if you have a dad, would you stand up? If you have a dad? Everybody should be standing up. It's the clip. And if you would just say, hand over your heart. Thank you, Dad.
Thank you, Dad.
Thank you. You did the best you could.
You did the best you could.
You made me sing it. Because isn't that the truth? Just like Daisy said in her opening prayer, no matter what it looked like, with the tools that they had, and maybe they had one of those tools that we can't figure out quite yet, they did the best they could. And I'm very grateful for my father. I always think about my dad, and my grandpa, and my great-grandpa. Had great men in my life, and I'm very blessed, so thank you, Daddy and Papa. The theme for this month is accountability. What is accountability? We account for our activities, disclose them in a transparent manner, and accept responsibility for our actions and the obligation entrusted to us. So my question with that in mind was, who am I accountable to? Obviously, as a CSL minister, I am accountable to you all, right?
Yeah.
Accountable to my colleagues. Kind of helpful if we know that if we're going to be here, that we're going to do and say what we're going to do and say and agree to that, and that we're here, and we're accountable to the board, and the board's accountable to you. But I'm thinking in a larger sense than that. Who am I accountable to? Myself, right? I have a mission, a global vision that we follow, and as a CSO minister, and I would say as a member of community just at large, wouldn't it be all wonderful if we all agreed to create a world that works for everyone? So that's what I'm committed to. And I'll tell you a little secret, I fall off sometimes. Probably not a secret. Shh. Probably not a secret. I found myself fall off the other day. I was at Target, we're getting ready to go on our trip. And it's kind of the last thing, you know, right before you get to the packing part. And Reverend Cheryl, God bless her, being the procrastinator that she may tend to be. And I'm driving her around, and we're at one of our last stops. And I'm at Boca Park, and we're stopping in Sally's to get some beauty supply stuff. And Cheryl was tired, and so, you know, she gets that little, I'm tired kind of walk. So I pull her right up in front of the door. And she gets out, and, you know, Sally's, it's pretty small. I figured I'm okay to park there for a minute. And this mall cop comes. Bless him. This mall cop comes, and he's, I'm like, what? So I just kind of shine him on, and he pulls around and makes a U-turn and parks right by me. And so I wasn't thinking about the world that works for everyone at that point. I might have been a little bit, because I didn't say exactly what I was thinking. And he proceeds, Mr. Malcott says, I said, sir, my friend, she's a little tired. I just was parking here just for a second. And if you just give me a minute, I will move. And he says, and I quote, "You people always have an excuse. You people." So I'm sure he meant cute girls with Fiats. I'm sure that's what he meant. However, my thought was not in that place, and so I didn't take it there at that moment. I still didn't say exactly what I was thinking. And so I drove very rapidly around, and I parked, and I went to go get Cheryl. Oh, I don't know what you were doing inside. Why did it take that long? But it seemed like forever, because my intention was to sit there for a moment and just wait it out, just to annoy Mr. Malkop even more. But I didn't. I parked and I went and got Cheryl, and I'm and then Mr. Malkop has coincidentally had another issue with someone else, and this person has cursed him out, and now he's calling the police because this person has threatened his life. And I said, well, I'm not quite that bad. And I'm like this, you know, I'm walking through Target, I'm Cheryl and I'm like, come on Cheryl, show him that you can't walk that well right now. And I'm like, look, see, I told you. And so the energy of all that didn't really create a world that worked for anyone. Especially me. I don't know, Mr. Malkop probably couldn't care less. But I thought about my commitment, right? My commitment isn't just here when I walk in the store or when I speak on the stage. The commitment I made is to create a world that works for everyone. The Father Within. I chose that title. We don't use that necessarily here in CSL anymore. We don't talk about the Father being God, as I know a lot of people have come from different religions, particularly Christian religions, that will talk about the Father. So we don't use that because it tends to allow you to think of the guy with the white beard in the sky. But it's something that we can all relate to. Fatherhood is relational. As with so many basic truths, relationship is found through all creation. We live in relation to ourselves, our families, our workplace and its inhabitants, our fellow congregants, and even our New Thought organizations. When we are aware, we live in relation to the presence of life itself, spirit, and God within. We each are made in the image and likeness of the one power, the one presence, the one light, the one energy. That one energy is love, light, truth, beauty, power, peace. Coming from that place and knowing that that is who I'm created from, if I can remember that, when there's a Mr. Malkop, when I see shootings that took place this week, when I see America's favorite dad, one of America's favorite dad on the news being tried, if I can remember and commit to that place of who I am and whose I am, then I will create a world that works for everyone. I'm going to read a little story here, and you've heard it. I'm going to read it a little differently. It's out of the Bible for all places. For those of you that don't know, I'm not necessarily a Bible scholar. But I'm coming to enjoy it a little more and more as I understand it more and more. I understand myself a little more and more. Luke 15:11. And I'm changing the words, but you'll recognize the story. Jesus continued, there was a daughter who had two daughters. The younger one said to her father, "Father, give me my share of the estate." And so he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger daughter got together all she had and set off for a distant country, and there squandered her wealth in wild living. It's a very familiar story. After she had spent everything, there was a severe famine in that whole country. And she began to be in need. So she went and hired herself out to a citizen of that country who sent her to her fields to feed pigs. She longed to fill her stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave her anything. When she came to her senses, she said, How many of my father's hired servants have food to spare? And here I am, starving to death. I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your daughter. Make me like one of your hired servants. So she got up and went to her father. But while she was still a long way off, her father saw her and was filled with compassion for her. He ran to his daughter, threw his arms around her, and kissed her. The daughter said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your daughter. But the father said to his servants, Quick, bring the best robe and put it on her. Put a ring on her finger and sandals on her feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this daughter of mine was dead and is alive again. She was lost and is found. So they began to celebrate. Meanwhile, the older daughter was in the field. And when she came near the house, she heard music and dancing. So she called one of the servants and asked him what was going on. Your sister has come, he replied, and your father has killed the fattened calf because she has come back to him safe and sound. The older daughter became angry and refused to go in. So his father went out and pleaded with her. But she answered her father, Look, all these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this daughter of yours, who has squandered your property with prostitutes, comes home, you killed a fattened calf for her. My daughter, the father said, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad, because your sister, the sister of yours, was dead and is alive again. She was lost, and she's now found. Now, as I said, I can relate to that story. Actually, that's the prodigal son. I just used a woman in place of a man. And if you think of the Father as that entity, as that creation that created you, we get into trouble when we separate ourselves from the God within us, don't we? That's when we lose our way. And I don't need to be looking to Katie to see when she's lost her way. I don't need to look at Reverend Dan or Reverend Wanda or Reverend Cheryl or any of you. I need to stay in my own house and take care of what I need to do and be in alignment with the God of my being. The Father within. So Kelowna, Canada, Reverend Cheryl and I went, and thank you to the Board of Trustees for sending us. It was a magnificent trip. You know what the most magnificent part was? Is that and when I went to Sunday service last Sunday, it was as if I was here. There was that same love and that same joy and that same message, and the beautiful music that Patty and Brittany provide. It is that same knowingness is that we, as an organization, are committed to creating a world that works for everyone. The theme for the week, or however long we were there, was, who do you think you are? And I walked away with a magnificent creature, being of a beautiful teaching that is so blessed to have a lovely community. And so from that place, I will follow my mission with my whole heart and soul. And knowing that you were, and trusting that you're on board with me as you have been thus far. Thank you.
so good at that. You know, it's so funny, when you read that, the prodigal son as the prodigal daughter, I saw you, my sisters, because I have like 4 sisters, and I mean, it's like I got it. For the first, as many times as we've read it or heard it, I got it today. Thank you. Gosh, happy Father's Day. Now the Father Within was not our only topic, it was also Fix It. And, you know, I know I can't wait to see what you guys know what all these things do. I have a list, so just let me know. Because we thought it was cute. I did. Anyway, it was, because the topic was Fix It for Father's Day. And so, of course, I ordered this big old thick book from Amazon because the title is Fix It. And it turns out that it is, you know, like a corporate handbook for accountability. Yes. So that is our theme for the month. And it, I mean, it was interesting. Of course, I didn't read the whole thing because it's around here somewhere. I left it somewhere. It's a thick book, and no, it will not be sold in our bookstore. It is the sequel to what was called The Wizard of Oz, and The Wisdom of Oz. It's the corporate manual for accountability. They spent 3 years, 40,000 participants to figure out how to, you know, to see it, own it, solve it, and do it. And I found a letter from a grandfather that pretty much says the same thing, which I will read to you now. A note to grandchildren. It seems likely that I may have the opportunity to meet all of my grandchildren. Should any of them be curious about their grandfather, I thought it might be appropriate if I had something to say to them. First, I regret that I have not had the chance to see you grow up in your childhood or in this world. It is, I am sure, an exciting time to be in the world, and I would have liked to have shared it with you. It was not to be. But you should know that I would have liked it. Now, as we understand genetics, in my time, you may end up being more like me than your father and mother. So even though I'm not with you, you should feel a real kinship towards me. If you wish, you can even blame me for a few of your deficiencies. For instance, if your mouth is too small for your teeth, you probably got that from me. Sorry about that. But on the other hand, if you have a pleasant voice, that too might have come from me. I was often complimented on my voice during my life. I discovered at an early age that I could really play with my voice. Its wide range gave me a joy in being able to create many different sounds and to sing a pretty decent song. I often sang to and with my children. I hope you will do the same. When I wanted to, I could also make my voice sound very mean. My children knew that too. I wore a beard most of my adult life. I started my first beard because I looked younger than my years, and I had people who worked for me that were older than me. And I felt the beard helped give me more of a look of authority. I only shaved it off a couple of times. One was when Robert Kennedy was assassinated. My time would have been much better had he lived. He was the best of the Kennedys. One of the greatest gifts that God gave me was the ability to see, I mean really see, to visualize, to capture what others passed by as ordinary. But I could see was beautiful or sad or ugly. I was able to record these things I saw on film at times. And other times I kept them to myself in my heart as images of life. Some things were just too big, too beautiful, or too ugly to photograph. And the older I got, the less important it became for me to put these things I saw on film, but they never stopped amazing me. And I was always grateful that I was given the gift to see these things in a special way. As I am writing this, I wonder how I will be remembered by those who knew me. It seems like people never really think they know you until you're gone. Then their images become bigger than life, and most of the time bigger than reality. I say this to let you know that I was probably not as naughty or as good as people would have you believe. I am writing this in my 53rd year. Unless I completely surprise myself in the time I have left, I do not consider myself much of a success. I have never been motivated by an end, but rather by the challenge of trying to achieve an end. The joy and the satisfaction was never in the achieving, but instead in the attempt. Each time you climb a hill and reach the top, you find another hill ahead to climb. If you don't enjoy the climbing, there'll be little to be found in reaching the top. There will probably be those who thought that I was a failure. I might have been in their eyes, and in fact, I may have been. I am sure the world, when I leave it, will not be the world that I would have wanted to pass on to another generation. For that, I must take a share of the responsibility. But then, if I had left a perfect world to you, what joy could you have found in climbing the hill? When you get older and begin to understand that, like every human being who lived before you, death is a reality. You begin to search for the meaning of life. At least I have. And confess to you that I am confused. Not depressed by it, but confused. There are, for sure, pat answers that folks will give you. If you choose to believe them, you may sleep easier, but in giving up the search, I believe you may miss a bunch of life. I fear that I will wonder about this until the day I die. Grandfathers are supposed to be pillars of wisdom. Maybe I will live much longer and wisdom will finally come to me. If not, let me just pass on an observation or two for what they are worth. Be gentle in spirit. Not only will people around you be much happier, but so will you. You have a much better chance of being happy if you live gently. The saddest people I have known were those who always seemed mad at someone or jealous of others' skills or possessions. A gentle spirit is not only happy with what they have, but equally happy with what others have, even if it is more or better than what they themselves have. A gentle spirit hears the sound of birds and smells the beauty of flowers and has time to make a child smile and wipe a child's tear. A gentle spirit can whistle, hum, or sing a song, even if it isn't on tune. A gentle spirit can love and show others how to. A gentle person can risk being hurt and won't be hurt, however, will risk again. Defend vigorously what you know is right. I refuse to use the sexist language at Mass. I'm sure I was upsetting to some around me, but I knew it was wrong. You can still be respectful to people who do not agree with you, and you should be. It does not lessen your commitment to your cause, but gives your cause intelligent credibility. Chances are you will also learn more. I found that there is only one shade of white and one of black, but there are many, many shades of gray. Wars, whether they are religiously motivated or not, are simply immoral, in my opinion. The taking of human life, not life in the name of God or any other cause, is blasphemy. In my life, I was involved in a car accident that took another human life. And though I knew the accident was not my fault, it was a heavy burden on me for all my years following the incident. Life is so beautiful, and it's tragic to be a part of anyone losing it. Creating life is too easy. I know, I did it often, and you should be grateful that I did. However, it carries with it awesome responsibilities. Give it serious thought and prepare yourself well for parenthood. There should be many more tools for you to use in your time than there was in mine to prepare yourself. It is probably the most serious thing you will do in life. Enough rambling. If you are a child when you read this, enjoy being a child. Childhood should be mostly fun. If you're reading this as an adult or rereading it, I hope there is still some of that child left in you. If there isn't, I'm afraid you're awfully dull and not much fun to be around. Even if, like me, you never find out what life is all about, live and enjoy every minute of it to its fullest. It is the only true gift that you will ever receive with no restrictions except those that you yourself place on it. Love, Grandfather. Oh my goodness, Stacy came downstairs this morning. I'm just gonna tell a quick little story. I've been wanting to do this since you came up here. I know. It's not against your face. It's not. Look at it. Do it. Anyway, and I was crying. She said, oh, "Is this gonna be good for service?" And
It's always about the service.
and always. I mean, it's almost Sunday again, right?
I guess I should have said, "Are you okay?"
That would have been good. But what did you say? You said.
It's going to be good for the service.
Exactly. Anyway, what happened? I know you're not having a good time. Can you help her? He's so good at that. So anyway, well, I'll start from the beginning. And I promise it's going to be a couple minutes. I guess when we came back from Canada, my car was in the garage, had a flat, and so I called roadside. They came put my spare on. He said, check your car, make sure it starts. I said, oh yeah. So I started it. He left. Next morning, got up, didn't start. So I called roadside assistance again to help me start my car. And, but meanwhile, back at the ranch, I texted my dad, who is in Louisiana, couldn't have helped me anyway. And he's 80. Even though his whole life he told me, Daddy, your baby, your dad can fix anything. But anyway, that's another reason for fix it. But he, and at the same time I texted Clem. Just asked him a question. They both answered at the same time. Clem had more questions. And my dad, I just said, thank you for answering me so quickly. And he said, your father will always love you. And then he talks, that's why he texts so fast. And it always amazes me that I get an answer so fast from him. Anyway, the day before Father's Day, which would have been yesterday, Cheryl, I texted my baby sister, who has decided, without the big story, I'm going to tell you, she's upset with my father since he did not come to my mom's memorial 18 months ago. Now, mind you, 3 of his 5 living brothers did come, but he did not come. Okay, but that was not good enough for her. And so she's still mad at him, so I sent her a text to say, you're going to at least text your father and say Happy Father's Day. There was no, she just said no, you know. There was no conversation, there was nothing to say, nothing to talk about. And so I went into, of course, I was coming from a sister mode, and then I changed to minister sister a little bit, and I said to her, you know, I was going to leave her alone because I waited 5 minutes every time because I was thinking about it, and I said, She said no. And I said, well, I think this morning at 6:13 a.m. I said, I think you should text him at least. Stop expecting him to be something that he is not. And she said, Cheryl, I am being me. Like, leave me alone. That's what she said. So at 6:19, I texted her, I said, I love you anyway. And she said, hey, it takes 2 people to be in a relationship. I can just see her shaking her head. And I text her, I waited like 20 minutes. And I went to minister mode. And I said, 6:55, I said, make a conscious decision to forgive him. It is not for him, it's for you. I promise you that not forgiving him hurts you more than it does him. Try it. I am not saying that what he did was right, which I still don't know what he did. What he did was right. And he knows, no, he doesn't. We have had so many things to be mad at him for, really. Why hold on to this? love your sister, the minister. And then I say subject change about a baby shower, but never mind. And she sends me one a minute later and says, Cheryl, with using my name, Cheryl, let me think about it. Like, okay, enough is what she's saying. And so I waited 3 minutes. And I said, think about it? Good, an opening. I am so excited and proud of you. And then we talk about the baby shower again. Then she said, at 7:01, she says, done. I did it. Oh. Not for me or him, but for you. I said, you texted him? She said, yes. I said, yes. And I said, sister, it's for you, my sister. I love you. She said, no, it's for you, my sister. So take that. And I end by saying, I will. So when Stacy came down, I'm like, yes, but I'm bawling. You know, and of course my sister, she does know, but she couldn't hear it as we were texting. So isn't that great? I'm like, oh my God, he didn't come to, okay. You know, he promised you that he was gonna go to all his baby mamas, funerals, whatever, I don't know. You know, I mean, he has a few baby mamas. And so, you know, I just kept pushing and she kept telling me to leave her alone and I just couldn't. I said, it's such a waste. Not for him, he's 80. You have a long way to go in my mind. And this is for you, to help you move forward. To help you move forward. So that's what I was crying about this morning. Isn't that a great story?
Yeah.
It's such a Father's Day, isn't it? Awesome.
I will let you know that your spiritual father, one of your spiritual fathers, Dr. Ken Gordon, that's Kelowna, that's his church, and he sends his love to all of you.
Yes, he does. He's the spiritual leader of Spiritual Living Access. All right, and he is a father. He told us before we left us that we went to his home and were invited for wine and cheese. And of course, I don't drink wine, but and he said if we needed anything, he said that means anything. He says that if it requires me to come there, I'm there. So, yes. What a father! And that's a father.
That's a father.
That's a father. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great
Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Call your dad if you're still alive and say, I love you, and I know you did the best you could.
And you know, even if he's not, say it.
Just say it anyway. All right?
Send him a text even if you know. All right, thank you.
We love you.
We love you.
So if you all would stand and connect. Just take a deep breath. And from that place of energy and excitement and sheer joy and sheer gratitude for all the many, many dads out there that have done such an amazing job and that do such amazing jobs. At giving their love, at being patient and being kind and being the strength behind each one of us. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to be one with each one of those dads. I'm grateful for each and every person in this community. I'm grateful for all the love that we give that ripples out into the larger community. Grateful knowing that each and every person has a great brunch or lunch or dinner and celebrates the best of who they are. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this and so much more. I release, I let go, and so it is.